Hello and welcome to the Satluj TV podcast. Our regular guest today is Dr. Gurinder Singh Grewal, MD, a distinguished cardiology specialist in California with over 48 years of experience. Dr. Grewal is also a passionate advocate for Sikh and Khalistan causes. He's the co-founder of SikhHeritageEducation.com that documents and archives material relevant to Sikh rights and history, and was also the co-founder of World Sikh News. Deeply impacted by the events of 1984, Dr. Grewal has since then been a powerful advocate ensuring the world never forgets those events. Dr. Grewal, welcome back to the show. Thanks very much for joining us once again.
Good morning, Angus. Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Now, Dr. Grewal, we've often highlighted how India's Prime Minister likes to bestride the world stage as head of the world's so-called largest democracy, with aspirations of becoming a future superpower. Yet, evidence is mounting that under Mr. Modi's governance, India's economy and social infrastructure isn't just demonstrating signs of systemic failure. The country itself is heading towards the status of becoming what could be a failed state. Now, I'd like to focus today on this evidence to support this fear. And with that, one of the obvious areas to maybe start at is the country's banking system. Could you please give us a snapshot of what's happening in this critical commercial area?
So, Angus, you're right. In my estimate, and listening to several other economists, I am not economist, it looks like India is failing economically. So if you consider banking system, how does the bank works? People save money, deposit in the banks, and the banks lend further. And because people do not have money because of inflation and other compounding factors, they are not depositing money in the bank, and several of the banks in the commercial side and cooperative banks are failing badly since the Modi took over. So let's take example of some of the private banks first. PNB Housing and Financing Limited, maybe not a traditional bank. It has to be restructured, and another bank called Dana Bank merged with the bank of, merge means this bank failed and the other one takes over, so technical language. It merged with the Bank of Baroda, Vijay Bank, and then Oriental Bank of Commerce merged with the Punjab Bank in April 2020. United Bank of India merged with the Punjab National Bank in April 2020. Another bank, Allahabad Bank, merged with the Indian Bank in August 2020. Corporation Bank merged with Union Bank of India in April 2020. Andhra Bank also merged with the Union Bank of India April 2020. Kadmat Bank, a lesser known private sector bank that closed its operations. These are some of the commercial banks. In cooperative banking system, which was a very big, especially in the small cities, small towns. About 80 corporate banks have closed in India due to poor financial health, fraud, or mismanagement leading to insolvency. Some of the cooperative banks that closed are Nasik Merchants Cooperative Bank, placed under direct direction by the Reserve Bank of India, later closed. Karnataka Madhyavati Sahakara Bank, shut down by the RBI due to financial instability. City Cooperative Bank from Mumbai had its license revoked by RBI Reserve Bank of India. Bihar State Cooperative Bank closed due to regulatory issues. Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank, called PMC, faced substantial fraud issues, and after regulatory intervention, its operations were severely restricted. Closure of cooperative banks can vary in scale and impact, and many similar cooperative banks may not be widely reported in the media.
So Gurinder, Sorry, if I may jump in there, Grinda. Of course, one of the key foundations of any economy is its currency. And I think obviously this naturally leads on to a discussion about India's currency, the rupee, and it has seen, I understand, quite a level of weakness against certainly the world's the world's reserve currency, the US dollar. Could you talk us through how the Indian rupee has been performing, certainly at least in the last 10 years?
So, last 10 years is important because this is the Modi government when they took over. 2010, the Indian rupee, dollar to Indian rupee was 45 rupees, $1 was equivalent to 45 rupees. 2018, 8.5, 2019, 70.5, 2020, 73.2, 2021, 73.9, 2022, 77.2, 2023, approximately 80.2. Today is approximately $1 is equivalent to 87 rupees. So about Indian currency in 10 years have lost 50% of its value. According to the World Bank and other organizations, 10 to 20% of the Indian population, which we are talking about 800 million people, are directly dependent on public distribution system of food, otherwise they starve. So not only banks are failing, the currency value is decreasing, people are getting poor and depending more on somebody else giving them the food. So 60% of India's population is depending on this food distribution system, which is terrible. So that tells you how country is doing, even though India outside may portray like they are the Vishwa Guru, that's the guru for the whole world. The manufacturing in India has decreased from 16% to 13%. Whichever parameter you measure, they are going down. The most of the stuff they have been bragging about was Modi's friends borrowing money from outside, bribing people like Adani, $250 million given bribes in India. So that system is collapsing and the big industries are shutting down. So I think India economically is doing bad. Currency is doing bad, manufacturing is going down, people are getting more poor are getting more poor. Maybe few rich people are getting more richer, but most of the people are not doing good.
Indeed, and in fact, even here in the UK, the BBC produced a very powerful article just a month or two ago, highlighting this terrible growing wealth gap in India, where the middle class of India is becoming dividing, where they are falling either side of this line, where the wealthy are getting wealthier, the poorer are getting poorer. And of course, it is the middle class that really is the economic engine of most societies. So that certainly has been reflected by what the BBC has covered. Now, of course, if we move away from economics and we can look at more social issues, and particularly crime is one massive area that has always, it's reached global headlines, the levels of crime in India. Can we start to take a look at the crime problem in India? Because, of course, crime so fundamentally affects the social infrastructure of a nation. Can you talk us through how and why crime is becoming such an issue in India?
So the crime in general has been increasing in India. So except one last year, it dropped a little bit. But certain crimes are worse, and we will go state by state. So according to the National Crime Records Bureau, under the Government of India records, it records all type of crimes. Each year, the state crime records collect data from the District Crime Records Bureau and submit it to the National Bureau. The first edition of crimes in India pertains to the year 1952, and the latest one is 2022. So crimes Not all the crimes are reported. Some of the poor people are afraid of going to the police. Not only they are victims to start with, and then they become victims of police. So not all the crimes are reported. Large number of crimes, especially small places, are not reported when they are victims of poor or Dalits or somebody who feel like they will not have any justice. 487.8 incidents per 100,000 population in 2020. Next year, 445.9. So crime rate maybe just a little bit less in 1 year, but overall it's increasing. So, for example, the crime against women, the rape, has gone up. So there are about 30,000 rapes reported each year in India, about 80 rapes a day. And I think if you ever been there, if you live there, you know that this is markedly underreported because people are afraid of more crimes by reporting. So this is the one area where this is mind-boggling. Gang rapes are still taking place, even in Delhi, where the central government has all their machinery there. The states with the highest crime is not Punjab, is not Manipur. This is every day the government talks about more army, more police, arresting people of Punjab. Like a few days ago, the Home Minister was bragging how he has arrested Amrit Pal, who looked like Pindranwale. Now he can sit in jail and read Guru Granth Sahib, making fun of our religion and making fun of a member of the parliament who has won with the largest vote in whole country. So if we look at a crime, how each state is doing, the largest number of per capita crime report is Uttar Pradesh. That's the chief minister is a yogi. So he's practicing yoga when the state is falling apart. 7.4% according to the National Crime Records Bureau. So the worst state is BJP. This is the same state where they spend a ton of money building Ram Lala Mandir. So Ram Mandir has not done any good, and the state controlled by BJP is the worst crime state in India. Next is Arunachal Pradesh. I think is what came from dividing the other state. Their crime rate is 5.8. Traveling alone after dark is banned in many areas of the state due to increasing crime. The chief minister of the state is also a BJP leader. So number 3 is Jharkhand with a per capita crime rate 5.3. Jharkhand is considered unsafe for travelers. Many criminal cases are not even registered in the police files. The chief minister of the state is Mukti Morcha leader. Meghalaya, another state is Meghalaya, ranked 4th with a crime rate of 5.1. Some areas of Meghalaya are considered unsafe for travel and restricted for people. Chief Minister of the state is the leader of National People's Party. Then there is Delhi. Delhi is also a union territory, or you can call a state. Delhi ranks 5th. That's where the whole central government is. State has a crime rate of 5% per capita. Despite political power, very little has been done in the terms of safety. The chief minister of the state at present is also a BJP leader. The next state is Assam, ranks 6th with a crime rate of 4.4% per capita. Chief minister of the state is also BJP leader. Next is Chhattisgarh has a crime rate of 4 per capita, making it unsafe place for many reasons, especially for women. The chief minister of the state is also a BJP leader. Next is Haryana neighboring state which was carved out of Punjab. Per capita crime rate 3.8. The state is known for robbery, theft, bribery, murder, and rape. There was a few years ago, maybe a couple of years, there was state had some unrest and demonstration. Some of the travelers who came from Australia traveling through that, the women was raped, who had nothing to do with the government. Chief Minister of the state is also a BJP leader. So next is Odisha, they used to call Odisha. They are 3.8% per capita crime rate, primarily due to theft and bribery. Chief Minister of the state is also a BJP leader. The next in line is Andhra Pradesh, has per capita rate of 3.6 with a rising number of crime. Chief Minister of the state is Telugu Desam Party, which is currently Modi's supporter. Modi is in power because of his support. If he pulls out his support, Modi government will be down. So wherever the most crime is, that's where the BJP is ruling. You know, the RSS and its other organization like Bajrang Dal, they are basically going wild, and crime against the minority is rising every day, and police doesn't even register.
And what I find particularly striking there immediately, Dr. Grewal, is of course, where is Punjab? Punjab, if you look at the right-wing social media of India, then according to them, the Punjab is a lost state, a state of nothing but crime and horror. And yet the Punjab doesn't even feature in this list. It's all the other BJP-led states. And of course, one of the alarming things I pick out of that, of course, and we often talk about this on our show Perspectives, is the terrible increase in sexual assaults against women. And this has definitely happened under the BJP government, certainly over the last 10 years, is that these assaults on women that are quite sadly often combined with murder have increased massively since the BJP took power. And there seems to be very little being done about it. Admittedly, Modi has brought in the death penalty for rape in certain cases, but ultimately this has done nothing to change the trend. And sexual assault against women has become basically an epidemic in India.
Yes. Because the media is controlled, all the facts are not discussed in public. You know, if they discuss that, then the station is closed. There was only one TV station where one independent reporter was bringing the facts to life, and that station was bought by Adani Group. So now he is in a small social media thing. So most of the press is controlled by the government, and the facts are not discussed every day, even though facts are there. So, you know, if I sitting in California, I can find these facts, then people there probably know more, but I think they're afraid. So the one group of people who are also being persecuted or being killed is the journalist. So last time I think we mentioned one book recently I came across. The several journalists are being killed because they refuse to obey the government line. They want to be independent. There was a lady whose father also started his own newspaper then she took over, Gauri Lankesh. She was in Karnataka and running a weekly small Gauri Lankesh Patarke. Patarke is a paper. She was fearless journalist, committed to secular ideology and progressive values. She was murdered on September 5, 2017, outside her home. She was driving home. Two guys came on a motorbike and shot her in the head. This is 7.6 millimeter pistol. For the same way, there were other people killed in Bangalore or Pune. There are at least four of them, very well known people who are social workers or trying to bring trying to bring to the attention of government what was happening in the society. One of them was Dr. Dabolkar, a prominent rationalist killed on August 20th, 2013 in Pune. Govind Pansare, another similar worker who's a Communist Party leader, murdered on February 20, 2015. Another famous person, M.M. Kalburji, a scholar, a journalist, and former vice-chancellor of Kannada University, was killed. So a foundation, which is a Thakur Foundation, reported from 2014 to 2018, 63 cases of attack on Indian journalists and had resulted in no conviction. So those four cases I mentioned, they were supposedly killed, or this organization called Sanatan Sansata. This is another RSS organization who's killing people since Modi came and become more stronger. Nobody is punished. They are arrested and then they are released, and when they go, the party workers celebrate their release with the garlands and there's the festivities. So there's no shame there in committing the crime. In fact, the crime is celebrated, and very, very upsetting statistics.
And it's no surprise then, Dr. Grewal, if I may just jump in there, it's no surprise that India currently sits at 159th out of 180 countries globally in the World Free Press Index. It literally sits in the bottom part of that table alongside countries like North Korea and Russia, which is a pretty shameful situation. And as we often report, certainly on our show, about this targeting of journalists and any activists who dare try to hold the Modi government to account. Now, of course, a lot of this violence that we hear about, and then a lot of the violence that we don't hear about, is particularly perpetrated against the lower caste, the Dalits, the lower caste within India. These are people who are treated really as third-class citizens. They sit at the bottom of that evil caste system. And of course, they don't really have a voice. They don't have a public voice. So of course, when crimes are committed, which they are regularly against Dalits, they do not have the ability, firstly, to report these crimes properly, and certainly for their crimes to be treated seriously. Do you think this is a genuine problem in India?
It's a big problem. So let me finish one little thing about the journalism. So on the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, on the 10th floor, there are 200-person team monitoring India's journalists 24 hours a day. So those are the people now listening to you and me talking. So, and then their job is to create reports and how to downplay us, how to create a narrative against people who talk against the government. So 200% are dedicated just to quieten the opposition or the people who dare to report against the government. The violence against Dalits and minorities in India is every day increasing. It's often stemming from the deep-seated caste-based discrimination and social prejudice. RSS and its sister organizations are very active in against the Muslims and Dalits. So Muslims, can be harassed or killed just with a suspicion. A young Muslim boy is going and they say, oh, he's carrying a beef. Okay, and he is lynched. And there's no beef with him. And interesting fact is India at one time was number one. India now is number two exporter of beef. Who own those slaughterhouses? Big government friends. But these poor Muslims are killed on the streets with the suspicion that this young boy is carrying a beef. In recently, Tamil Nadu, a young man is riding a bullet motorbike, which is upper end motorbike, and his hands are hacked by 3 people of same town. How dare you go in front of us with this motorbike? You are not allowed to. In fact, there are several movie stories where traditionally the groom goes on a horse and he goes in front of the high society people, and they say, how come you dare to go ride a horse in front of our house? And before he can get married, they kill him and they kill other people. So this is still happening in society. Not too long ago, I think it was maybe a year ago, in Delhi, daylight, there was a poor Sikh girl who was married, had a child, but was living with the father in the same city to help the ill father. So some boy is harassing her, say, I want to marry you. She told him, go away. I am married, please leave me alone. But this boy must be mentally sick. So instead of family taking him to psychiatric care or try counseling or something, done nothing, and he commits suicide. Now they're blaming the girl. The women of their family paraded this girl naked, and their men molested this girl in front of all these women. They celebrated her misery. Can you imagine that these women are telling their husband, boys to molest this lady publicly? This is so shameful. Nothing happened. And she goes to police. Police arrest her and put her in there instead of arresting their families. So this is the state again for Muslims, Dalit, Sikhs. Look in Punjab, every day, 50-kilometer border is occupied by the CRP or border security forces. So Punjab is basically police-occupied state. Look what happened to the farmers a few days ago. Peaceful farmers are sitting there protesting for whatever the Modi government agreed, but they failed to do it. Now the Home Minister of the state, Indian state, Amit Shah, called the police IG and they beat the farmers. Forcibly remove them, and they tell them, if you come again, we'll do this again. So what kind of a democracy is this? This is a tyranny of Hindutva society and the Hindutva government. So this, in my estimate, the time is right. Time is right for uprising in India, where people will uprise and they will revolt. Any little spark, like what happened at Arab Spring in Tunisia, can start this, where the people will uprise and the government will be thrown away and the society will change, and India will probably divide it into several small units of state. The South is ready. Every day more demonstration. Now South is unanimously fighting this the bill against the Muslim Waqf Board bill they want to change. Punjab is ready, and Manipur, Assam, where they are Christian, they are ready. I think India is a failed state. Uprising is possible any day. So what kind of change will happen? There are many things we have seen, but I can only think of two. One is the French Revolution. If it happens like French Revolution, it'll be bloody. There'll be guillotine. I don't know who will be killed, who not be killed. And then there's a big Soviet Union collapse, where there was no big bloodshed and the countries are separated. I hope this uprising results in more Soviet Union-like breakdown rather than the French Revolution, but I don't know what will happen. I can only pray that the latter is more likely to happen. So India is a failed state economically, crime-wise, minorities. 50% of the population is included in Dalit, Muslim, Sikhs, and other minorities. 50, maybe even more than 50%. They are victims of increased crime against them by the government, daylight, and no recourse.
So it
Criminals
does
are
seem...
celebrated. Several members of the parliament have criminal cases against them pending, but nothing happens.
Of course, indeed. So it does look like India is on a trajectory for an inevitable breakup. But on that unsurprising note, we must leave it. But we will be talking again with Dr. Growell soon to continue the discussion. Dr. Growell, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us once again.
Thank you, Angus. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, vaheguru ji fateh.
And thank you for watching the Satellite TV podcast. We will see you next time.